the astronomy tower. Wind screaming through the battlements. Dumbledore stands at the edge, arms open, not in surrender, in triumph. Harry's wand is raised, his hand won't stop shaking. Tears cut hot lines down his face, and Dumbledore smiles, that grandfather smile, warm, proud, full of love. You were always my greatest creation, Harry. Green light. The old man falls backward into the dark. Harry Potter didn't kill the Dark Lord that night. He killed the only father he'd ever known, and he'd do it again. You know the story they told us. Dumbledore left Harry with the Dursleys for protection. Blood wards, love's sacrifice, a necessary cruelty. But history lied to us. November 1st, 1981, Privet Drive. The street lamps flicker out one by one. Dumbledore appears from the shadows. His robes are immaculate. His face is carved from stone. McGonagall waits on the wall. Cat form abandoned. Human worry fully visible. Albus, I've watched them all day. They're the worst sort of muggles. The boy will be miserable. Dumbledore doesn't look at her. His eyes are fixed on number 4, measuring it, calculating. Misery builds character, Minerva. She flinches. He's a baby, James and Lily's baby. He's a weapon. The words fall like a verdict. And weapons must be forged in fire. Hagrid arrives, the motorcycle roars. Baby Harry sleeps in those massive arms, wrapped in a blanket that still smells like Godric's Hollow, like smoke and blood and ended things. Dumbledore takes the bundle, holds the child up to the light. Those green eyes flutter open, Lily's eyes, staring up at the man who will shape every moment of his suffering. Hello, Harry. Dumbledore's voice is soft, almost tender. We have such plans for you. He places the baby on the doorstep, tucks the letter into the blanket, and then his wand moves, a subtle gesture, a whispered word. The compulsion charm settles over the threshold like morning frost. The magic doesn't create cruelty, it sharpens it. Petty thoughts feel justified. Resentment feels earned. Kindness begins to feel like surrender, not on Harry, on the man inside the house. McGonagall doesn't see it. Hagrid is sobbing too loudly to notice. But the magic sinks into the house, into the man sleeping inside, into the small, frightened spaces of his mind. His anger will burn hotter now. His cruelty will come easier. The boy will learn to flinch, to hide, to crave any scrap of kindness. The boy will be desperate. Desperate children are so easy to control. 10 years pass. Arabella Figg walks her cats past number 4 every single day, but she isn't watching for danger. She's gathering data. Her letters arrive at Hogwarts weekly. Dumbledore reads them in his office. Fawkes watches from his perch, silent, judging. The boy sleeps in a cupboard now. Vernon screams at him for breathing too loud. Dumbledore nods, makes a note. He didn't cry when Dudley broke his glasses. He just fixed them with tape and kept his head down. Another note. Progress. He flinches at loud noises. He apologizes when he hasn't done anything wrong. He doesn't fight back anymore. Dumbledore sets down the letter. The fire crackles. His reflection dances in his half-moon spectacles. He smiles. He is ready. The letter arrives on Harry's 11th birthday. Then 100 more. Then 1,000. Vernon boards up the mail slot. Dumbledore watches through Arabella's reports and laughs. He could have sent a professor. McGonagall would have been gentle. Flitwick would have been kind. He sends Hagrid instead. Why? Because Hagrid is loyal. Hagrid worships Dumbledore with the pure devotion of a man who was once expelled, broken, and rebuilt by the Headmaster's mercy. Hagrid will teach Harry his first lesson about Hogwarts, about power, about who to trust. The door explodes inward. Harry sees a giant in a storm, a birthday cake with green icing, his first real kindness in 11 years. And just like that, Dumbledore has an anchor in Harry's heart. Hogwarts swallows Harry whole. The Sorting Hat whispers about Slytherin, but Harry begs for Gryffindor. Dumbledore watches from the high table. The boy chooses bravery, chooses the light, predictable, useful. Christmas arrives, snow blankets the castle. Harry expects nothing. The invisibility cloak arrives in plain brown paper. A note. Your father left this in my possession. Use it well. You might think this was generosity, a grandfather returning a family heirloom. But ask yourself, why did Dumbledore keep it for 10 years? Why return it now to an 11-year-old in a castle full of secrets? He wanted Harry to sneak, to wander, to find the mirror of Erised. Harry stands before that mirror for hours, watching his dead parents smile at him, his heart cracking open. Dumbledore finds him there, speaks gently about dreams and reality, but the lesson has been planted. Harry now knows what he wants more than anything: family, love, belonging. Dumbledore can offer all three, for a price Harry doesn't yet understand. The Philosopher's Stone sits beneath Hogwarts, protected by puzzles a first year can solve. Think about that. A devil's snare that hates light. A flying key any seeker could catch. A logic puzzle Hermione unravels in minutes. These aren't protections, they're a test. Dumbledore doesn't guard the stone. He uses it as bait. Harry descends with his friends, faces the challenges, passes each one, and in the final chamber, Quirrell waits. Voldemort's face pressed against the back of his skull. Harry's hands close around his professor's face. Quirrell screams. His skin blisters, cracks, crumbles to ash. 11 years old. His first time watching someone die by his hand. Dumbledore arrives seconds later. Convenient timing, almost like he was watching. Almost like he let it happen. Harry wakes in the hospital wing. Dumbledore sits beside his bed. Lemon drops on the nightstand. Concern in those blue eyes. Sir? Harry's voice is small, fragile. Why didn't the protection stop him sooner? Why did I have to? His hands, Quirrell's face, the smell of burning. Dumbledore's eyes twinkle, that famous twinkle, like stars, like secrets. Some questions, Harry, are not meant to be answered, only lived. Harry accepts this. He's 11. He trusts the kind old man with the crooked nose and the gentle voice. But the question doesn't die. It burrows. It waits. And somewhere deep in Harry's mind, the first crack forms. Harry thought he'd won that night, thought he'd saved the stone, protected his friends, proven himself worthy. He didn't realize the game hadn't even started. Second year, the Chamber of Secrets opens. Students drop like stones. Colin Creevey, Justin Finch Fletchley, Hermione herself frozen mid-step in a library corridor. The basilisk moves through the walls, ancient, hungry, patient, and Dumbledore hears it. The sound slithers into meaning through old, forbidden linguistics. Magic learned decades ago in Grindelwald's libraries, when he still believed knowledge justified anything. He stands in his office while the serpent slithers past. Its voice echoes through the pipes. Kill, tear, rip. Dumbledore tilts his head, listens, takes a sip of tea. He could end this. One word to the house elves, one trip to the second-floor bathroom, one killing curse aimed at yellow eyes. But that would waste the opportunity. Harry needs testing. Harry needs to prove he'll sacrifice himself for strangers. Harry needs to descend into darkness alone. So Dumbledore does nothing. He lets children fall. He watches Ginny Weasley wither under Tom Riddle's diary. He recognizes that diary. He knows what it is, a Horcrux, a piece of Voldemort's shattered soul. Still, he waits. Harry descends into the chamber, 12 years old, facing a 1,000-year-old monster, armed with nothing but a hat and desperate courage. Dumbledore monitors through hidden charms, takes notes. Subject displays remarkable loyalty, willing to die for near strangers, responds well to hopeless odds. Harry drives a fang through the diary, kills the memory of Tom Riddle, nearly dies from basilisk venom. Fawkes saves him. The Phoenix was always meant to. Dumbledore couldn't let his weapon die. Not yet. 3rd year. Sirius Black escapes Azkaban. The Ministry panics. Dementors swarm Hogwarts. Everyone assumes Black wants to kill Harry. Dumbledore knows the truth. He's always known. Sirius was innocent. Peter Pettigrew was the traitor. The evidence existed in 1981. Dumbledore could have demanded a trial. He didn't. A broken godfather serves no purpose. But a wrongfully imprisoned one? A man who escapes to find his godson? That's leverage. Sirius can't take Harry from the Dursleys now. He's a fugitive, desperate, dependent on Dumbledore's protection. Another leash, another chain. And Hermione? Dumbledore gives her a time turner, a device that can shatter causality, rewrite history, create paradoxes that consume entire timelines. He gives this to a 13-year-old, for extra classes. The real reason? Chaos. He wants to see how Harry handles impossible choices. When everything goes wrong, when Sirius is captured, when Buckbeak faces execution, Harry and Hermione spin back through time. They save the Hippogriff, save Sirius, break a dozen laws of magic. Dumbledore watches from his window, smiling. The boy bends time itself to save people he loves. Good. That desperation will be useful later. Ron and Hermione sat with Harry every day. They thought they were protecting him. They didn't know they were Dumbledore's instruments, gathering intelligence with every whispered conversation. 4th year, the Tri-Wizard Tournament. Harry's name erupts from the goblet. He didn't enter. Everyone knows he didn't enter. Dumbledore's face twists with rage. He grabs Harry, shakes him, demands answers. The performance is flawless because Dumbledore isn't surprised. He's relieved. He needs Harry tested against death repeatedly, needs to know if the Horcrux inside him responds to mortal danger, needs data. Harry faces dragons, nearly drowns in the Black Lake, watches friends suffer. The maze comes last. Cedric Diggory runs beside him. The cup is a portkey. Harry doesn't know. Cedric doesn't know. Dumbledore does. The graveyard. Voldemort rises from the cauldron. He uses Harry's blood. The prophecy demands it. Bone of the father, flesh of the servant, blood of the enemy. Harry is tied to a gravestone, watching resurrection. And somewhere in Hogwarts, Dumbledore feels the wards shiver, feels the blood connection snap into place. He smiles. Now Harry is tethered to Voldemort. 2 puppets, 1 string. When the Dark Lord falls, the anchor will drag Harry down with him. Everything is proceeding exactly as planned. Cedric dies. Green light. A body on the grass. Harry returns clutching his friend's corpse. Screaming, broken. Dumbledore rushes forward, embraces the boy, whispers comfort. His eyes scan the crowd, calculating, assessing who believes, who doubts. That night Harry dreams, not Voldemort's vision, something older, a memory that doesn't belong to him. Dumbledore's office, years ago, a conversation. The boy must die, Severus. You've kept him alive so he can die at the proper moment? Don't tell me you've grown to care for the boy. Harry wakes gasping, cold sweat, shaking hands. A nightmare. It must be a nightmare. He tells himself this, forces himself to believe it, but the seed has been planted, roots spreading in the dark. Harry had survived the graveyard, but something else had woken up inside him, the first flicker of doubt. 5th year, the Ministry turns. Cornelius Fudge calls Harry a liar. Rita Skeeter drags his name through mud. Dolores Umbridge arrives at Hogwarts with her pink cardigan and her blood quills. And Dumbledore vanishes. He won't look at Harry, won't speak to him, won't explain. Canon claims protection, distance to shield Harry from Voldemort's mental connection. The truth is simpler, crueler. He's testing isolation. How far can Harry be pushed before he breaks? How desperate will he become for connection, for guidance? Desperate enough to form an army. The DA meets in secret. Students learning combat spells. Dumbledore allows this, encourages it through absence. Child soldiers are useful. They just need proper motivation. Occlumency lessons begin. Snape, cold, vicious, tearing into Harry's mind 3 nights a week. Clear your mind, Potter. Harry can't. The visions are getting worse. Voldemort's thoughts bleeding into his own. One session goes too far. Snape pushes. Harry's defenses shatter completely. But instead of Harry falling into Snape's memories pour into Harry. The Headmaster's office, years earlier. Snape is weeping. You said you would keep her safe. Dumbledore sits behind his desk, calm, patient. Lily's sacrifice gave us a weapon, Severus. Her death created protections we could never have engineered. We must use them. She was everything to me. And now she serves a greater purpose. Snape's head bows, broken, and Dumbledore laughs. Not cruelly, that's the worst part. Casually, lightly, like discussing chess strategies over tea. Come now, Severus. Sentiment is weakness. You know this. Harry rips out of the memory, vomits on Snape's floor. His hands won't stop shaking. His chest won't expand. The man who saved him. The grandfather who hugged him. The twinkling eyes and the lemon drops. Laughing about his mother's murder. Potter! Snape's face is white. He realizes what Harry saw. But Harry is already running. He can't tell Ron. Can't tell Hermione. They worship Dumbledore. They'd never believe him. He is utterly alone. Harry finally understood. He wasn't the chosen one. He was the chosen sacrifice, and the priest was still smiling. Harry waits 3 weeks, watches, plans. Dumbledore leaves for the Ministry on a Thursday. Some emergency with the Wizengamot. He'll be gone until morning. Harry moves at midnight. The invisibility cloak whispers against his shoulders. The gargoyle accepts a password he stole from McGonagall's desk. The spiral staircase carries him upward. The headmaster's office is dark. Fawkes sleeps on his perch. The portraits snore in their frames. Harry searches. Drawers, cabinets, hidden compartments behind books. Nothing. Then he sees it, the pensive, sitting in its alcove, glowing faintly. He approaches, looks inside. Memories swirl beneath the surface. Silver threads, locked away. His wand touches the first one, the hog's head. Decades ago, smoke and shadows. Sybil Trelawney sits at a table. Her eyes roll back. Her voice deepens. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches. Harry knows this prophecy. He's heard it before. But something's wrong. The memory glitches, stutters like a scratched record. Trelawney's mouth moves. No sound comes out. The words have been erased, replaced with something else. The second memory, the Ministry of Magic, the Hall of Prophecies. Dumbledore stands alone among the glowing orbs. His face is calm, focused. He holds a blank sphere, raises it to his lips, and speaks. The one with the power to vanquish the Dark Lord approaches, born to those who have thrice defied him, born as the 7th month dies. His voice, his words, his creation. The prophecy was never real. Dumbledore created it, planted it, used it to aim Voldemort at the Potters like a weapon. Harry staggers backward, his legs give out, he hits the floor. Why the Potters? Why his family? The answer rises like bile. James refused a mission once, said it was too dangerous, said he wouldn't risk Lily. Lily asked too many questions, noticed too many inconsistencies, started keeping notes. They were liabilities, too independent, too suspicious, easier to make them martyrs, easier to raise their orphaned son as a puppet. Harry's parents didn't die in a war. They were murdered by an ally, and their son was always meant to follow. A portrait stirs. Phineas Nigellus Black opens one eye. Clever boy. His voice drips with ancient bitterness. Took you long enough. Harry looks up, tears streaming, hand shaking. You knew? I've watched Dumbledore for a century, watched him collect children like chess pieces, watched him sacrifice them for his greater good. Phineas sneers. He destroyed my family too. We all have our grudges. Harry stands. Something cold settles in his chest. Then help me destroy him. Harry had spent 5 years fighting the Dark Lord. Now he realized there were 2 of them, and one had been hugging him. Harry returns to Gryffindor Tower, says nothing. He can't react. Not yet. Dumbledore is too powerful, too connected, too beloved. One wrong move and Harry disappears. An accident, a tragedy, another dead Potter. He needs allies, real ones, not the DA. Those are Dumbledore's soldiers, trained to follow, taught to obey. Harry needs outcasts, Neville Longbottom. His parents were tortured into madness by Bellatrix Lestrange. But here's what nobody mentions. The Order knew the Lestranges were hunting former members. Dumbledore could have warned the Longbottoms, protected them. He didn't. Frank and Alice were too independent, too strong. Easier to let them break, easier to raise Neville as another grateful orphan. Harry tells Neville the truth, shows him the memories. Neville doesn't cry. His jaw sets like stone. What do you need? Luna Lovegood, the girl who sees what others ignore. She believed Harry when no one else would, saw the Thestrals, heard the whispers. Harry tells her everything. Luna nods slowly. I always thought his eyes were wrong, too bright, like someone left the lights on in an empty house. Draco Malfoy. His father serves Voldemort. His family name is poison, but Draco is drowning. Harry sees it, the weight crushing him, the impossible mission Voldemort has given him. Kill Dumbledore or watch your mother die. Harry approaches him in an empty corridor. I know what he asked you to do. Draco's wand comes up. His hand trembles. I'm not going to stop you, Harry says. I'm going to help you. Year 6 begins. Dumbledore announces private lessons, Horcrux hunting, memories of Tom Riddle's past, the locket, the cup, the snake. Harry attends, smiles, nods, learns. But he's studying Dumbledore now. Every word, every gesture, every manipulation. The old man shows Harry the Horcruxes one by one, explains how to destroy them. Harry realizes the pattern. Destroy the objects first. Save Harry for last. The final sacrifice. The willing death. He approaches Snape in the dungeons. You loved my mother. Snape's face goes blank. Dangerous. He used that love to chain you, made you his spy, his weapon, his guilt-ridden slave. Silence. Help me end him. Snape stares at Harry, Lily's eyes in James's face, the ghost of everything he lost. A single nod. The timelines converge. Draco's mission, Snape's betrayal, Harry's rebellion, The astronomy tower, midnight, 3 factions, 1 wand, and Harry finally understood. Only one of them would see sunrise. The tower, wind howling, stars like shattered glass. Dumbledore stands at the edge, his robes billow, his hands are open. He knows Harry is there, under the cloak, watching. He always knows. Draco bursts through the door, wand raised, shaking. "I have to do this." Dumbledore's voice is gentle. "No, Draco, you don't." The boy can't do it. His wand lowers, his shoulders slump. Death Eaters pour in. Bellatrix, Greyback, the Carrows. Chaos erupts. Dumbledore moves. His wand flicks toward Harry's hiding spot. A freezing charm. He's going to immobilize the boy, ensure the sacrifice happens on schedule. But Snape arrives first. His wand doesn't point at Dumbledore. It points at the Death Eaters. "Stupefy! Protego!" Bellatrix screams in fury. Greyback staggers back. Dumbledore's face shifts. Surprise. Then cold, terrible rage. "Severus, after everything I gave you." "You gave me chains." Snape's voice cracks. "The boy offered me a choice." They duel. Elder Wand against desperate skill. It isn't close. Dumbledore is too powerful, too fast. Snape staggers, bleeds, falls to one knee. But he's buying time. Harry throws off the cloak. His wand traces patterns in the air. Not attack spells, something else. Decades of subtle enchantments, trust spells, deference charms, habits reinforced by magic, so gentle no one noticed them forming. They don't lose free will. They remember the doubts they were trained to ignore. Harry tears them apart. Below, McGonagall gasps. Her hand flies to her chest. Flitwick stumbles against a wall. Sprout drops her wand. Decades of control, lifted in seconds. They remember the doubts they suppressed, the questions they never asked, the blind loyalty that never quite felt natural. Dumbledore feels it, his network crumbling, his army waking, his face twists. "You were never fighting Voldemort for them, were you?" Harry's voice carries across the wind. "You were building an empire, and we were your bricks." Dumbledore straightens, dignity returning. "Someone had to be willing to be hated, Harry. The world survives because someone agrees to carry the sin. The greater good requires sacrifice. You're too young to understand. Voldemort used fear to rule. You used love. But both of you used people. I understand enough." Harry could capture him, try him, expose him publicly, but Dumbledore would escape. He always escapes. The Elder Wand makes him nearly unkillable. The war would never end. Harry raises his wand, not with hatred, with exhaustion, with grief. Dumbledore sees it coming. He smiles, that familiar grandfather smile. "I knew you had it in you." Green light. The old man falls backward, off the tower, into the dark. The Elder Wand clatters on stone. Harry doesn't pick it up. Some weapons were never meant to be held. Voldemort still lives. The war isn't over, but now it's honest. The wizarding world fractures. Dumbledore was a hero, a legend, a saint. Now the truth spreads. The forged prophecy, the Potter betrayal, the child soldiers. Some refuse to believe. They riot in Hogsmeade, burn effigies of Harry Potter. Others weep, realize their entire lives were manipulated. Harry releases Dumbledore's memories to the Wizengamot. Every lie, every scheme, every sacrifice. The ministry is corrupt, infiltrated, but no longer controlled by invisible strings. Open ground, honest war. Snape lives, barely. His testimony shatters what remains of Dumbledore's legacy. Then he disappears. Some say he found peace, a cottage by the sea, a garden full of lilies. Others say he's still watching, still protecting. Old habits die hard, the outcasts remain. Neville, Luna, Draco. They don't call themselves heroes. They call themselves survivors. The Hogwarts board offers Harry the headmaster's seat, not as a teacher, as a guardian, someone to dismantle the rot. Harry walks into the office. The portraits watch, whisper among themselves. One frame hangs in the corner. Dumbledore, smiling, eyes twinkling. "Harry, my boy." The portrait's voice is warm, familiar. "You'll need me. The world is complicated. You don't understand the pressures, the difficult choices." "I understand enough." Harry lifts the frame from the wall, carries it to the fireplace. Harry, please. Everything I did was for the greater good. You'll see. In time, you'll understand." The flames rise. The portrait screams. Then silence. Harry sits in the headmaster's chair. The castle is quiet. Snow falls outside the window. The war continues beyond these walls. Voldemort, the Death Eaters, the broken ministry. But in here, for the first time, no one is pulling strings. They called him the boy who lived. But that night, standing in the ashes of his mentor's legacy, Harry Potter finally understood the truth. He wasn't the boy who lived. He was the boy who was allowed to live. And he would never let anyone hold that leash again. So, the evidence is laid out. The fake prophecy, the child soldiers, the greater good. In canon, we call Dumbledore a hero who made hard choices. In this what-if timeline, Dumbledore was the monster. But looking back at the real books, the line between hero and villain is terrifyingly thin. He did raise Harry to die. He did leave him in a cupboard. So I have to ask, is Albus Dumbledore the hero of the saga? Or was he always the biggest villain J.K. Rowling ever wrote? Tell me your verdict in the comments, and subscribe to see which timeline we break next.